We have this little filter here that we drop into their water reservoir. And if you're at some lake or river, you could drop that right in there and you have a non-stop continuous flow of water. As long as you've got enough propane and battery power, you could have an hour-long shower if you really want it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we are going to look at a very beautiful bowler, and it is owned by Angela and Tara. Welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having us.
And you guys have been on the road for a little while.
Yes. 5.5 years now. Yeah. Full-time, 5.5 years. A year and a half in Canada, and the rest of the year's been here in the United States. We get the joys of experiencing not only the winters in Arizona, but like the summers in Colorado and the summers in Michigan, which most Canadians need to pick and choose.
Right.
Where do they want to utilize their time?
Right.
So we feel very blessed.
You've been on the road 5.5 years. What led you to start?
We originally bought the bowler in really rough shape, and we did a complete restoration of it and ripped it off its frame and redid it, only for the intention of extending our camping season. Most of our friends had escapes and other fiberglass versions, and we just wanted to keep camping because we loved it so much. And then one summer we decided just to move into the bowler, give it a go. So we put everything in storage, moved into the bowler, and we just fell in love with it. We looked at apartments come fall, and we just weren't ready to go back. So 5.5 years later, here we are.
Just kept going.
Just kind of kept going.
And so your first full year was in the bowler in Canada?
Yes.
That was
yes,
a little chilly up there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. You fight the cold and the humidity. Yeah, so everything else has been much easier down here in the south. Yeah, our second winter we spent in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And then every winter since, this will be our 4th year, has been in Quartzsite in the Arizona area.
So now, probably a lot of the audience aren't familiar with bowlers. So give us a little bit of a history on them.
All right, so the bowler is maybe not that familiar with people, but it's a Canadian-made fiberglass, and it's generally referred to as the original fiberglass. This bowler is a 1972 model, and it actually predates the Scamp, the Trilliums, the Bigfoots, the Escapes, all of the fiberglass. And it's said to have basically inspired the rest of the fiberglass versions that are out there. This was made in Canada. It's made out of a fiberglass shell with a wooden bottom. There was supposedly only about 7,000 to 8,500 ever made. There was also a factory for a while in the United States as well. Bowlers only were in production, I think, from late 60s, around 68, to mid to late 80s. So it was a very short window. They're very similar to the Scamps. We actually have a few Scamp parts on the bowler because clearly bowler is no longer manufactured. The one big weakness of the bowler is the curved door. Yes. A lot of people have an issue with the curvature of the door. We ourselves, as much as we try, we still have a little gap where the door meets the body of the bowler.
Yeah, there's a reason that Scamp, Casita, and Boler are beloved everywhere, and they're just really great rigs. So one of the problems with the bowler, or any of the fiberglass campers, there's not a lot of room for solar on your roof.
No, and supposedly they can't support a lot of the weight either from solars being mounted on there as well. And it's always kind of a cringy moment when you got to put a new hole in the fiberglass. Right. So a lot of people don't like to do that either. Yeah.
And so you just put your solar outside?
Yeah, we have a portable solar panel. Also, when we're camping in the trees in the woods, it's really nice to be able to move it to the sunshine. Right. Here in Arizona, there's big open skies. It's just a matter of shifting it. But yeah, this is 375 watts of solar panel. It is a Blue Eddy solar panel to go with our Blue Eddy power bank that we have inside. And we love it. The power bank we have could actually hold probably about 3 more of these panels, but just due to space, we just have the one.
So you also see you've got quite a bit of water outside. Is that another limitation of these little trailers?
Yes, it is quite a limitation. We like to carry these with us. They stack very nicely together symmetrically in the back of our truck when we go to refill. And these are like Scepter Army containers, so they're actually UV protectant as well. They're really strong. She actually had one fall out of the back of the truck once when we were driving, and you can't even tell which one it was because they're that tough. Yeah. But water is definitely a limitation with these. When we're parked for a long time, we like to make sure we have water, especially in the desert. And for like safety, we have a bicycle cable that we can string through here and then link around the frame of the bowler when we're gone, so we have to worry that no one grabs them and takes off with them. So welcome inside of our tiny little bowler. These are all the original cabinetry that came with the bowler. Up here, we just generally kind of keep our spices, things like that. Here we keep our Blue Eddy. This is how we power most things. Mm-hmm. In the front of the Boler, there's actually two 6-volt Trojans wired in a series. Mm-hmm. And then that just was enough power for us once when we started making YouTube videos and flying drones and all that kind of stuff. So we upgraded to add this to our power bank. One thing I really like about it is it has a 30 amp. Mm-hmm. So I'll actually plug the shore power of the Boler into the Blue Eddy, and that will charge my Trojan batteries at the same time. And then this will handle all of our power needs. Tara is a big coffee fiend, so she can't go anywhere without her espresso machine and her portable grinder. This does have a sink, but we don't actually use it right now. We do have a 2-burner propane. We honestly never use it. For one, we find it gets really hot up here. Yeah. And then if you're cooking things, it's like you don't really want to sleep with fish smell or beef smell or bacon smell. So we do all of our cooking outside. We have a little kitchen set up outside. And down here, we have a little bar fridge. Because we built this originally just to extend our camping season, but not to actually live in, we don't use it. We have another fridge in the truck. One day, I like to think we'll have access to a shop, and we'd probably honestly rip this out and this and turn these into shelves. Yeah. Then we have our heater. Absolutely love it. Propane-based heater. And it's actually more heater than this space needs, but it heats it up real quick in here. And then there's more storage under here, but this is mostly wires and stuff like that. And then this is where we keep like our broom and dustpan. It's kind of dirty, dusty storage. And then we found that 6 milk crates actually fit under the bed perfectly. So this is where we store our clothes. And we made this handy little toilet plunger with a hook on it to reach them all. But this is, Tara gets 3 totes and I get 3 totes, and they're all stacked 3 deep. So there's 3 this way and 3 this way. And that way we don't have to get on our knees and crawl around and try and reach them. Normally in the Boler, this is a dinette that you can pop up and down. Right. We've made it into a permanent bed. Then we have this closet, which is a mess, but this is basically an IKEA stand with these drawers that we've put in here. So one of the things we find traveling nomadically is that you still always have to have your passions. You always have to have something you're passionate about, a hobby. So this is generally Tara's corner. It's mostly her knitting supplies, her knitting, crocheting, her quilting, all that kind of stuff is there in the corner. Our dog Stella, this is her designated sleeping area. She likes to sleep in there at night. Since Scamp and Boler are so similar, we were able to put this in here as well and mount it with the rivets. And up and in here, we've got different games, our speakers. We like to play board games and card games, stuff like that. We have Reflectix that we use on all the windows that are held together with Velcro. So when we first hit the road, we were using a cooler. We did the whole ice thing, and we just lost so much food over time with ice melting. You know, our veggies would get meat juices on it. So we decided to upgrade to a fridge. And we went with the biggest fridge that ARB makes, which is 101 quart. It's ARB Zero fridge. And we would just pack this thing full and then go into the woods for 3 weeks. No worries. It's a dual compartment fridge, which you can make either side fridge or freezer. And this lives in the back of our truck. Right. Originally, it was on the front bunk, but then we rescued a dog, and the dog took the place of the fridge, and the fridge moved to the truck. Normally, when we're at camp, we have it plugged in via the 120 and with an extension cord, and then this cord snakes all the way to the Boler, and then it's plugged into the Blue Eddy. Mm-hmm. So the Blue Eddy power bank charges or powers the fridge all day long while we're here. But while we're on the road or driving around or doing things in town, we can't be plugged into the Blue Eddy. So what we have is we have a Jackery that then lives inside the truck.
So here is your bathroom.
Bathroom, yeah, all about it. We joke that we're essentially tenters. We live outside, but we sleep in there and keep our most valuables safe from the elements in there. Over 5.5 years on the road, we had to keep our sanity, and warm showers was something we just decided we couldn't compromise on. Right. So we invested in the Joolca. Joolca has a hot tap system where it's on-the-demand hot water. It's done by 12 volt and propane. So we have it wired to the propane tank here, which goes here. And then it's powered, in our case, by our jackery. We have one of these big black and yellow totes that actually, when we pack it all up, everything fits inside of it. But when we have it unpacked, we use it as our water reservoir. So this would be our shower water. It's great. We can both have a nice long shower with that amount of water. Yeah. And then we use those green jugs, which you saw earlier, to fill this. So we have this little filter here that we drop into the water reservoir. And if you're at some lake or river, you could drop that right in there and you have a non-stop continuous flow of water. As long as you've got enough propane and battery power, you could have an hour-long shower if you really want it. So yeah, the water comes in from here into the pump, and the pump is what sucks it from the reservoir and then brings it into the hot tap. And then from there, the hot tap with the propane and the battery make it hot water. And then it snakes into the shower system here.
And your shower head just lives in here permanently.
And a shower lives in there. Sorry.
Oh, right up top, right where it should be.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have the double ensuite, which is nice because you can shower and get the one area really wet, and then you have a space here to dry off and get changed. But yeah, this is how we shower. This is our bathroom. And then depending on where we're at, because there's no bathroom inside the Boler, we either use the campground facilities, the pit toilet, sometimes the good old-fashioned shovel in the woods, or we also have the luggable loo.
So you have a Honda, and if you ever do get some cloudy days, you run out of solar, then you've got it.
Yes, we are really pleased with this thing. As we started originally our nomadic journey in BC, you get a lot of cloudy, rainy days. So we actually had the generator before we had solar.
And so it's kind of hard to do your cooking inside there, and you've got an outside kitchen.
Yes, yes, we do. We have the Coleman 2-burner propane stove that we use. And then we use this tote here to store all of our dishes. So our pots and pans and our plates, and silverware, Ziploc bags. Tara came up with this great idea of these little hooks. And we hang some of our pans in these bags up there. And for our pet food, we keep our cat food in one of the little totes. And we keep our dog food in this tote. And what this is it's called a bear den made by Kuma. I think that's a Canadian product. It's similar to, what are they called? Clams. Yeah. Similar to the clams. Yeah, so we've had this one for 5 years. It's held up really well.
So you guys have some brilliant, wonderful ideas. And after 5.5 years, you've just really learned so much. If people want to learn from you or follow you, how can they do that?
Well, we have a YouTube channel that we're working hard to grow. It's called Lady Ferns. We also have an Instagram account, but predominantly we're a YouTube channel. And we share tips and tricks that we learned along the way. We share everyday nomadic life, the ups and downs of it all, and we try to show you the beauty and the critters of the world.
Right. So everyone go check out Lady Ferns on YouTube right now. Thank you so much for sharing your home and your life with us. A lot of brilliant little ideas in here, and you've done so much over the 5.5 years. I just super appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, Bob. We appreciate it.